If you've been following for a while, then you probably already know what the word Hiya means. It's one of those Filipino values that we talk about a lot because it plays a huge role in how Filipinos behave. But today I want to talk about another Filipino value that is often mentioned alongside Hiya, and that is Utang na Loob. Now, if you're not Filipino or if you don't speak Tagalog, the language of the Tagalog region in the Philippines, where Manila is located, Utang na Loob literally translates to debt of the inside. And before you get too curious about what this could possibly mean, let me hasten to assure you that no actual debt is involved. There is no money owed or owing. Instead, Utang na Loob refers to the debt of gratitude one person feels towards another person. It's the sense of obligation one person feels towards another because of something that the other person has done for them. When someone does something for you, you feel the need to show your appreciation and to repay that favor. Maybe you're thinking, "Bahala na si Batman," which is an expression that basically means, "It's up to Batman," or "Good luck with that." So when someone goes out of their way to help you or do you a favor, you feel a sense of indebtedness, a sense of obligation to repay that favor. In a culture that values haya or shame, this sense of obligation is even more pronounced. In fact, feeling indebted and not doing anything about it would be shameful. You have to do something to pay back this debt, whether it's through a small act of kindness or a grand gesture. This is what Utang na Loob is all about. According to Filipino psychology, when someone does something for you, they somehow become part of your inner circle. So if you are a close friend to someone who has helped you, you might hesitate to tell them no when they ask for a favor. If they ask for your help, you feel like you can't say no because you owe them one. You can't say no because you don't want to be seen as someone who doesn't keep their promises or someone who is ungrateful for what they've received. Now, it's important to note that Utang na Loob isn't always a good thing. Like any other Filipino value, it can be taken to the extreme. For example, imagine you were promised a promotion at work after helping out a colleague who eventually became your boss. Now that your boss is in a position to give you that promotion, they decide not to because they don't like you anymore. Of course, you're going to feel betrayed. They promised you a promotion, so why are they going back on their word now? In this case, you feel that your boss owes you that promotion, so they should do it even if they don't like you anymore. That's the idea of Utang na Loob. However, taking it to the extreme by forcing someone to do something for you just because you feel that they owe you can be considered rude and insensitive. It's like saying, "Hey, you owe me, so you better do what I want you to do." And nobody likes being forced to do something against their will. But when it's done right, Utang na Loob can be a powerful force for good. For example, if a friend helps you out with something, you can pay them back by doing something nice for them. Or if a stranger does something kind for you, you can pay it forward by doing something nice for someone else. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're walking down the street and a stranger walks up to you and hands you a $100 bill. You're confused, but they tell you to go buy yourself something nice and walk away. What would you do with that $100? The stranger could easily have just walked past you without saying a word, but they chose to do something nice for you. So wouldn't it be nice if you paid that forward by doing something nice for someone else? And here's where Utang na Loob comes in. You feel indebted to that stranger because they did something nice for you, so you want to do something nice for them. But you don't have to wait for someone to do something nice for you before you do something nice for someone else. You can simply pay it forward by doing something nice for a stranger, and that would be paying back your debt of gratitude. One great thing about Utang na Loob is that it encourages people to do good things for others. After all, who doesn't want to feel appreciated? When you do something nice for someone, you want to feel that it was worth it. You want to know that you made a difference in that person's life. And Utang na Loob is a way of showing your appreciation for what someone has done for you. It also encourages reciprocity. You want to be surrounded by people who are willing to help you out when you need it, so you're more likely to help them out when they need it too. And it creates a sense of community. When you feel like you're in debt to someone, you're more likely to do something for them. And when they do something for you, you're more likely to do something for them too. And that creates a network of people who are willing to help each other out. However, there are some downsides to utang na loob as well. For example, it can lead to people feeling like they're being used. If someone only does something for you because they feel like they owe you something, then they're not really doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're only doing it because they feel like they have to, and that can lead to resentment. So it's important to be aware of the downsides of utang na loob, and to make sure that you're not taking advantage of people. We must also be careful not to let utang na loob interfere with our relationships. If you let utang na loob get in the way of your relationships, you may end up doing things that you don't want to do, or saying things that you don't want to say, and that can damage your relationships. For example, let's say your friend asks you for a favor and you can't say yes because you're busy. If you let utang na loob get in the way, you may end up doing it anyway, even though you don't want to. And that can damage your relationship with your friend because they'll resent you for not being honest with them. We must also be careful not to let utang na loob control us. If we let utang na loob control us, we may end up doing things that we don't want to do, or saying things that we don't want to say. And that can make us feel like we've lost control of our lives. So how can we avoid these downsides? Well, the first step is to be aware of them. Once you're aware of the potential downsides of utang na loob, you can start to take steps to avoid them. The second step is to set boundaries. It's important to set boundaries with people in order to protect yourself from being taken advantage of. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't help people out when they need it, but it does mean that you shouldn't feel guilty about saying no when you can't help them. Finally, you need to learn to say no. Saying no can be difficult, especially in a culture like the Philippines where people are generally very helpful. But it's important to learn how to say no in order to protect yourself from being taken advantage of. So what do you think about utang na loob? Is it something you can relate to? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, please be sure to share it with your friends. Until next time, maraming salamat ading po kayo.